2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Haas and Incorporated. We're gonna do it.
You asked for it and you got it. Okay, no one asked for it at all, but you got it anyway. It's Laverne and Shirley reruns, a 30-minute episode. We're going to run it 4 straight times. No, not 4 different episodes from 45 years ago. The same episode run 4 times from now till 6 p.m. Sit back, relax, try to enjoy Laverne and Shirley. Let's go to La Jolla, California, number 9, Drew Brees. Yes, thank God. It is not Milwaukee. We're not at the brewery. I'm not Laverne or Shirley. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Yeah, you're right. You young kiddies under the age of 40, you miss nothing. And I mean nothing by not catching a single episode or minute of Laverne and Shirley. It is a Monday afternoon. I don't mean to dog on Laverne and Shirley. We didn't have any choices. It was like British television. BBC One and BBC Two. You had like ABC, NBC, CBS. One of them you knew was running something you had absolutely no interest in as a child. So then it was down to 2. And then there's a pretty good shot. Neither one of those shows appealed to you either. And that was it. PBS, no shot, especially at night. The independent station, no, independently terrible. Anyway, you got stuck watching Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley back to back. The 70s. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday till 6 p.m. And thank you, cloud cover. Now, I would have preferred some actual rain. But thank you, threat of rain, for at least beating down the temperature somewhat. About 90 degrees on the thermometer, feels like 99. Sort of a normal New Orleans summer day, normal August day. 90 degrees feels like 99. Not 99 degrees feels like 119. It's been ridiculous. Very dry, very crispy. As a matter of fact, officially, the hottest summer on record in New Orleans, and we ain't done yet. Got a good 6 weeks left of summer, right? The rest of August, all of September, maybe a week or 2 in October before you finally are like, hey, dude, was watching some Saturday college football this morning at 11 and opened all the windows and doors at my house and turned the AC off and let the fresh air blow through. Fantastic, glorious fall day. We're probably like a good 6 weeks, 8 weeks still. So summer continues. We're not done yet. The hottest on record, 104 in Kenner. That's Kenner wear no bra. 104 yesterday at Louis Armstrong International. 104, a new record. 104 degrees on the thermometer at Louis Armstrong International. And that's not the thermometer that's laying out on the tarmac. It's got to be one of the driest summers of all time. I've got 5+ decades under my belt for whatever that's worth. And it's the hottest. I think it's the driest. No, everything's just parched. And the city of New Orleans, I mean, just a sinful job with the trees that they planted a few years ago on Claiborne. I guess the ones that can sustain drought-like conditions, they're hanging in there. I'd say 50% of the trees or more that were planted on Claiborne Avenue in the last 5, 6, 8 years are done, gone, dead, already cut down and gone. Just insane. Just, hey, let's not bring the water truck out there and water these trees every few days, knowing if we don't, they'll die. I don't know. I don't know what the water truck dude does. Maybe he fills potholes on some days. It's the city of New Orleans. Who knows? Dude, you want me watering trees or fixing potholes? Maybe that was the choice. City of New Orleans. Who knows? I have a dream. 60 years ago today, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. speech. If someone were to ask me, and this goes on all sides, this kind of covers, woke folks that want to get rid of, Abraham Lincoln High School, and it covers hyper right, racist type folks on the extreme side that think all things are equal in 2023. If someone told me the 5 most significant Americans in U.S. history, the 5 most significant, I would pick George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That would be the 5 I would pick. They may not be the 5 you would pick. They may not be the best 5, but I think I'm covering American history. Significant contributors that moved the needle the most. Significant contributors to America's growth that moved the needle the most, where we are in 2023, why we are where we are in 2023. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I mean, can you imagine a better person suited for that task than Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., someone that intelligent at that young of an age with that tolerance for the insanity, seeing the goal, the objective clearly always, and never getting distracted when all there were distractions. It's just unbelievable. Even-tempered, level-headed, incredible sense of people, understanding human beings, great orator, great speechwriter, great American, just the exact person needed at the exact time. You had a powder keg. You had just TNT piled up and a big gas fire right there, and a lot of people carrying gas and throwing it on that fire, hoping it'd trickle over to the big pile and just blow it all up. Keeping all that in check, black and white. Pretty amazing man. And I think the I Have a Dream speech, I want to say MLK was like 33 or something like that during that speech. I mean, we all think died at 55 or something. No, he just aged kind of rapidly because of the stress he was under. I want to say Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated at 39 years old. Wasn't even 40. I mean, just incredible. 60 years ago today, the March on Washington. I'm checking out some of the footage of that. Pretty integrated crowd. It's not like all black. A lot of white folks that, I don't wonder if I would have known what was right back then or not as a white person. I just hope I would have had the courage to stand up and go to that march and march with black folks, fighting for equality, not a white person that, boy, society's wrong. It's terrible how black folks are treated by these racist white people, but just sit on the sideline and let it sort its way out. I think those white folks, I'm not going to say as complicit as the ones that were racist and in control and doing sick stuff, but I hope I'd be the ones that were like the white folks I saw on the mall 60 years ago today. Pretty integrated audience. Wow, Dr. Peter Scharf, passing away at 78 years old, the criminologist. You can go to our YouTube. I actually reposted that on my Twitter. Corey Johnson on Twitter. We had him on the show about 5 months ago. Criminologist Peter Scharf for a pretty good stretch, about 30 minutes. What a shame. He was a a guy trying to help New Orleans get better, help the crime problem, a humanitarian, a caring person, not just, cut the head off the snake. No, a caring man and smart, talk the talk and walk the walk. Dr. Peter Scharf passing away. Hey, every day this program on radio, on television, on YouTube, KareTalks.com live streaming, brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford in Elmwood. Yeah, every day, this radio, TV program, live streaming. It's all brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex. And now Lamarck
Young's Dry
Crescent
Cleaning
City
has
Ford.
free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you. The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Not as bad as usual. 90 degrees feels like 99. That's better. It's still hot. And if your air conditioning's not working right, or worse, not working at all, it's unacceptable. River City's Total Maintenance is there. 40 years in South Louisiana doing you right. Probably the largest AC operation in the metro area. Over 35 trucks, over 35 techs, a few centuries of experience. That's why I can tell you with confidence that it's an honest group of air conditioning experts that come immediately. Honest, incapable of screwing you around. Experts diagnosing it right away and coming right away. So you're not waiting. Your AC's on this afternoon, tonight. River City's Total Maintenance. Find them at NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Every day we broadcast live from the Buddy Diliberto River City's Total Maintenance Studios. Yeah, 90 degrees feels like 99 on this Monday. I'll say this really quickly. 18 years ago today, it was Evacuation Sunday. Before 18 years ago tomorrow, Katrina made landfall in New Orleans. Who cares? Seriously. Like, who wants to relive that crap? Celebrate it, watch footage. It's like 9/11 and the planes hitting the towers. I want to watch that. I'm not running from it. I don't watch Pearl Harbor. Seriously, that's probably like the first one in my life that you've watched it enough where you like seen it, know it, fully understand it, willing to learn more about it. My God, someone wants to tell you a story about what happened to them during Katrina, fine. If the timing's right and whatever. I'm not talking right now, just generally speaking. I'm not like running from it, but I'm also not embracing it and don't care to watch it, and no point in memorializing. None of that crap. You know, been there, done that. All of us, been there, done that. You know, don't need to go back. Watch that. Watch 9/11. Watch December 7th. Never forget. Exactly. We were there. We were all alive either during it, watched it on TV, from afar, whatever. Affects everybody. Monday afternoon, the 28th of August. No, more of a positive, like 60 years ago today, I Have a Dream speech, Dr. Martin Luther King. There's a lot of stories with Mahalia Jackson. Mahalia Jackson either definitely shouting out, tell him about the dream. Martin, tell him about the dream. But was she egging him on? That's what some folks think. Others think the New Orleanian got him to abandon his scripted material and go off cuff and give the speech we all know right now, the I Have a Dream speech that Mahalia Jackson obviously heard many, many times, at least the general premise of it. Anyway, no, really mixed audience. You listen to the words. You forget about black and white. You just listen to the words. It's about America. It's about America at its greatest. It's like, how can anyone be against it? And then I love folks that want to argue like, did he deserve a holiday or not? It's like, my God, I think, you know, Monday quarterbacking is real easy. This was a big win, touchdown. So it's easy to look back. Just think if you had the wrong person in there. I love Malcolm X, like post-Mecca trip. What if you had like Malcolm X under Elijah Muhammad's spell, under Nation of Islam, like that Islam spell, and not like the Malcolm X post-Mecca, Nation of Islam, where he 86th the fraud Elijah Muhammad, the child rapist. I mean, that was a sick man. Sick. So you got the wrong leader, at the wrong time, and because you got the wrong white people, that's why you had segregation and all this going down. So you get the wrong black folks with the wrong white folks, and yeah, it's a powder keg. Instead, you had the wrong white folks, the right black leader, getting allies with the righteous white folks and squashing the wrong white folks, and no bomb detonating, no bomb going off, mostly, generally speaking. No, without Dr. Martin Luther King and his savvy and smoothness and smarts and timing and intellect and understanding people, empathy, sympathy, understanding human nature, mankind, a special person with the right temperament. No, you don't know how this is going to go down. This guy's a champion. Thank God for Dr. Martin Luther King and volatile America in the 60s. Are you kidding me? No, it's scary to think. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. In the 5 o'clock power hour, Brett Martell will join us. Another Martell Monday. Tulane football Saturday, LSU football Sunday. Saints a week from Sunday. Holy smokes. This is it, the beginning. On Friday we have the 5 o'clock whistle. Hey, the work week's in the rearview mirror. The whole weekend's in front of us. The whole college and pro football season is in front of us. This is game week. And next week it'll be NFL game week. Saints game week. No, fired up. Yep, fired up for that. And like I was saying earlier, we know in like 6-8 weeks we're going to finally get a break on this ridiculously oppressive weather that we've been having in New Orleans. Hey, the Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, always open for you. Love to hear from you. We don't screen phone calls. Agree or disagree, you're going to be able to get your take. We don't cut you off if you disagree. If we disagree, we don't cut you off. How refreshing is that? We don't screen calls, so we're not trying to manipulate the show. We're not trying to tell the show host, hey, this is what's coming next. I can handle all comers. I'm not scared to give an opinion, a strong one, and I'm not scared to say, I don't know. I'm not scared to say, wow, that's incredible. I didn't realize that. Thank you for, teaching me that. Not scared of any of that. But when you have that going for you, you don't need calls being screened. And when you got that going for you, if someone disagrees with you, the show audience is the judge and jury, and you folks out there are going to hear what I say. It doesn't matter if the host or not. Corey's off his rocker. That caller was on the money, or vice versa, which will probably be the case. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. Hot summer afternoon in New Orleans, regular. 90 degrees, feels like 99. Thank you, cloud cover. And I wish it would have rained. We so desperately need the rain everywhere. But the threat of rain at least dropped the temperature down. And it did rain in some parts of the metro and the state. Woodhouse Day Spa, 5 area locations. Check them out online, woodhousespas.com, the city's premier day spa experience. The ladies love the Woodhouse Day Spa, guys. An unexpected gift for her, like a day of relaxation for her and one of her friends. You get your buddy and the 2 wives, 2 girlfriends go together to Woodhouse Day Spa. Boy, you're a champ. An unexpected gift is a grand slam home run for her. The Woodhouse Day Spa's got you covered. 5 area locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, including the new Mandeville location. And, of course, the Baton Rouge location by the Mall of Louisiana. As we prepare for another football season in the South, in the deep Gulf South, in Louisiana, in New Orleans, where we love football. I've got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. 50 big bucks. That'll get you jump-started and more at the Woodhouse Day Spa. 5 area locations, woodhousespas.com. He's the father of the Superdome. Question number 1. The father of the Superdome. You know that big building with the 10-acre white roof over there on Claiborne's and the Pontchartrain Expressway, the I-10? Yeah, that building, the Superdome. Father of the Superdome. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. Question number 2, a separate question, another $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate available. Father of the Saints. Father of the Saints. Hey, no Google, no Yahoo, no DuckDuckGo, no Bing, no search engines, no Alta Vistas. That's still around, AOL. No search engines, no internet device. You either know the answer or you don't. No cheating. We'll know if you cheated. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program. 766-9480. Area code 504, the famous 504 in New Orleans. Rouse's Markets phone lines. 766-9480. 766-9480. Father of the Superdome. Father of the Saints. You got the answer to either one of those questions. 50 big bucks at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations can be yours. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. No GQ on the North Shore. Guido Merkins is incorrect. Coming right back. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For over 20 years, serving healthy, fresh, authentic Middle Eastern cuisine, Lebanon's Cafe. In the Carrollton section of Uptown on the streetcar line, Wednesday through Monday, 11 a.m. to 9:30. Lebanon's Cafe.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Will this be the motion, Jason? Maybe just one hand and then doing this. It's my accordion. Man, coming up with all kind of instruments, huh? That he learned how to play, and some stuck and some didn't. It's like food. I'm always wondering, like, what made man eat that? Must have been desperation. Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday afternoon. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open, 766-9480. I've got a couple of $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse Day Spa, the city's premier day spa experience, 5 area locations. 2 questions, 2 $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. He was the father of the Superdome. Without this guy, there'd be no Superdome. The first mover, the number one guy, the biggest name. You got the answer? I got 50 big bucks for you. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. 766-9480. We'll stick with that same theme as we approach football season. Father of the Saints. Without this guy, there'd be no New Orleans Saints in the city. Father of the Saints, the most significant single individual, the biggest mover. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Give me the answer to either one of those questions. 50 big bucks can be yours at the Woodhouse. Hey, remember, no cheating, no Google, no search engines, no intranet device. You either know the answer or you do not know the answer. It's bummed out to hear this. Only 78 years old. Had him on the program about 5 months ago. Dr. Peter Scharf, criminologist, passing away. Just super nice guy, caring guy, talk the talk, walk the walk. Here's the problems. Here are real solutions. How to help change people. Like, you don't just put someone in a jail cell and then let them out and expect them to be different and productive citizens. No, like getting down in the trenches, offensive linemen, D linemen, the dirty stuff, getting the job done and not getting all the fanfare, but always a great guest. Had him on for a good 30 minutes, as I recall, about 5 months ago. I posted it. It's on YouTube, but I reposted it on my Twitter. At Corey Johnson on Twitter. Dr. Peter Scharf passing away at 78. No, his last interview, continuing to come up with ideas, putting them into play, getting people to donate time and money to back the play, physical buildings and people and changing lives. No, check out the interview. He was the real deal. Humanitarian, caring, and got results. The full deal. No, I liked having him on the program. Glad I got to know him the last few decades. Sad today when I hear he passes away or passed away at age 78. That's sad. And 78 today, a few generations ago, that was an old guy or a woman. Now it's not. Not at all. I always talk about I play golf. And I'm playing at Lakewood or something, while back. And there's, I'm riding in a cart with my brother. And there's this guy who's like 82 and he's walking. Winter, rain. It's like the postman. It's hot, cold. He's there walking. And every time we see him, my brother and I will make a crack. Not about him, about us. Boy, we suck. We're lazy. We're pathetic. And we laugh a little bit, but also half of it's like, no. It's 100% real. We stink, and that dude's the man. No, he's 82, and he's rolling along, playing good golf, shooting his age, and walking. No, 78's too young. Keep the family and friends and New Orleanians that cared. Keep Dr. Peter Scharf in your thoughts and prayers. Brett Martell will join us in the 5 o'clock powwow. The bookies have LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels as the Heisman runner-up right now. That's like the bet in Vegas. Pretty cool. Boy, I saw a crazy Final Four with, it was, I think, Georgia, Alabama, LSU, and I want to say Texas or Ohio State. 3 SECs in like Texas or Ohio State. I was like, wow. And then you're like, could happen. You got Georgia at 1, Alabama's 3 or 4, and LSU's 5. You got 3 in the top 5. It's that close right now anyway, at least according to the preseason prognosticators. He was the father of the Louisiana Superdome. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 504-766-9480. He's no longer with us. I'm sure he'd be very proud of the Superdome renovations. Almost $1 billion with a B in the last 18 years since that Katrina gimmick. Almost $1 billion invested in the dome. 850 million plus. By the time that Super Bowl gets underway in 2025 at the Dome, what will that be? The 12th Super Bowl for New Orleans, like the 8th, 9th for the Dome? 766-9480. Father of the Superdome, 766-9480. Got another question for you. Father of the Saints. Number 1 mover, biggest mover, most significant contributor to the first mover, the most, main, I don't know what you'd call them besides all the things I've said. There's a lot of people, but for Father of the Saints, there's a clear number 1 that stands alone. For Father of the Superdome, there's a clear number 1 that stands alone. 766-9480 is the phone number. No, thank God for Dr. Martin Luther King, huh? His temperament, his smarts, his wherewithal, his seeing the bigger picture, can get inside the bubble and see the picture as a black man in America. Exactly. And then can pull himself outside the bubble and see America and what it's supposed to be and what it's supposed to represent. Black and white people together. Just an amazing man for the times. And besides his greatness, I think about if you had someone who wasn't the right man for the time. Like I said earlier, the racist white people, they weren't the right man for the time. You get the wrong black man for the time. These two wrongs together, it's TNT. It's explosive. You get the wrong racist white. You get the righteous Dr. Martin Luther King representing the black movement. And then you get all these sympathetic, empathetic white people that are righteous and they know what is righteous. At least they're striving. They're on Dr. Martin Luther King's side, the black people's side, and then it squashes this loud, obnoxious minority of racist white people and how things were. And it's always evolving. It's always changing. Still a long way to go. But I think in a lot of ways, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. would be blown away and proud and beaming. And I'm sure a little later he'd be crying about how much progress still needs to come. Back to the phone lines we go. Rob joins us. Hey, Rob.
Yeah. Hey, Corey. The first question, is it Dave Dixon?
All right. You tell me. I got two questions. Father of the Superdome, Father of the Saints. Which one are you picking?
Father of the Superdome. Isn't it Dave Dixon?
Father of the Superdome, Dave Dixon. You are correct.
Yeah, you're right.
Ding, ding, ding. What do we have for her, Johnny?
Right. Good job, Rob. He sold that to then Governor John McKithen. It's right after the Astrodome was built. It was in the late 60s. It sort of, the Tulane Stadium was a temporary thing. We really want to keep this Saints in NFL. We want Super Bowls, on and on. It just, we could get Major League Baseball. It's multi-purpose, just incredible visionary and salesman where John McKithen at the end of the presentation says we have to have it.
Hey, Corey, I got a future question for you.
Okay.
Not today. Let everybody forget. Who kept the Saints here after Katrina at great personal sacrifice?
Well, Arnie Philco.
Exactly. So one of these days down the road, throw that out there. Because he's still in New Orleans. You know that.
Oh, are you kidding me? I had him on the program. You can check it out on YouTube just a few months ago.
Great.
Asked him that exact question, Rob, and in typical Arnie Philco fashion, he shies away from all that,
Right.
No, Arnie Philco in San Antonio at some public facility like the Sewage and Water Board or something of San Antonio. They were in some like building, and they're having a meeting, and it was all the Saints folks, many of them still with the team today. And Tom Benson was talking about New Orleans is crushed. We never know when we're going back. There's no way we can go back anytime soon. We got to prepare for the future. We're going to move this team to San Antonio. We're going to be the San Antonio Saints, blah, blah, blah. And Philco stood up in that meeting and, was like, are you kidding me? The New Orleans is wrecked and the city's struggling and this is no time to do that. And got berated and yelled at and was sort of on the bad list with Tom Benson from that point on. But yeah, like you said, tremendous sacrifice, but helped save the Saints for New Orleans. I remember when that story broke. Thanks, Rob. Hang on. Corey Johnson with you. Coming right back.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
I am a creature of habit, but I got tied up today and I didn't make it to Fausto's for my red beans and rice. With that paneed chicken breast with the Italian seasoning, Italian breadcrumbs, paper thin and crispy and good, and really great red beans and rice. That's about the only non-Sicilian or Italian thing on the menu. They'll open their doors for dinner in about 7 minutes for the night. That's right. You could go to Fausto's for dinner in 7 minutes. Fausto's Italian Bistro, dinner Monday through Saturday night. Monday through Thursday, 5 to 9. Friday and Saturday night, 5 to 10. And they have lunch Monday through Friday, 11 to 2:30. Dinner starting in less than 7 minutes. Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets, some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian. It's hot, but it's a regular August hot. 90 degrees feels like 99. Not 99 degrees feels like 119. Thank you, threat of rain. Some areas got rain. Most didn't. Not that you care about the landscaping that's been planted in my yard, like the front about 2 years ago, the side about a year ago, 10 azalea bushes still growing, whatever, who cares? I hear you. But they've all been there a while. Don't need to water them, put a sprinkler on them, don't need a, watering system. The last month or so, I've had to put the sprinkler out like every 3 or 4 days and run it for like an hour in just that area to saturate that garden where those plants are, because these azaleas are wilting and some of the plants in the front, it's an investment. You paid for the plants. It looks good. So now I'm jacking up the old water bill a little bit and having to run the water. You want to do that late, like evening or early morning before the sun comes out, before the water will evaporate from the heat, Anyway. No, it's hot out there. It's a scorcher. Hot and dry. Hot and dry. It officially is the hottest summer on record in New Orleans. And we're not done yet. And it's already the hottest summer on record. In Kenner yesterday, another record broken, 104 degrees on the thermometer, 104, not Phoenix, New Orleans, Louisiana, 104. Louis Armstrong International, 104 degrees yesterday. the hottest on record has to be the driest summer on record, I would think. 60 years ago today, MLK speech, I Have a Dream, the March on Washington. Dr. Peter Scharf, criminologist, passing away at age 78, always trying to better New Orleans. Had him on the program about 5 months ago or so. You can check it out on YouTube. I posted it on Twitter. You can check it out there. A good 30 minutes or so, as I recall, with Dr. Peter Scharf, who talked the talk and walked the walk. You know, actually implemented what he was trying to do and raised the funds, got the physical bricks and mortar buildings in place, the people working there, bettering people's lives, real life stuff. A real person, humanitarian, caring, smart. Check out the interview. Sad. Only 78 years old, which some of you are like, that's pretty good. I mean, I don't think so. 78. I don't want to live to 78. Trying to shoot for like a $108, 108. As long as everything's working mentally, physically, 108. Slower and all that, I'm sure. But if I'm still there, cognizant, that'd be fantastic. 78's way too young. No, Corey Johnson on Twitter. You can check out that interview with Dr. Peter Scharf. Brett Martell, another Martell Monday. That's coming up. Brett Martell, over 25 years with the Associated Press. He'll join us in the 5 o'clock power hour. It'll be a Hurricane Idalia. And Wednesday morning, it'll slam into, I don't know, somewhere around Tampa. I don't mean to sound crass and crude. I mean, spaghetti models, all sort of that, I guess, what would you call it? Around 2 o'clock, if the Gulf of Mexico is a clock, right around the northeastern edge of the Gulf, but not the Panhandle, the, southwestern side of Florida. Somewhere, I'm saying like Tampa, south of Tampa a little bit. That's the prediction for Wednesday morning about 7 a.m., and it'll be a Category 3 hurricane. So in the next 36 hours, we'll go to a 1, a 2, to a Category 3 and slam into the Florida coast. And we'll have sunshine and heat and no thought or even knowing that there's a hurricane in the Gulf or hitting Florida. I remember when a hurricane hit like Destin. Hell, what was it? Andrew or whatever that hit Mexico Beach in Panama City. It was a sunny, beautiful day in New Orleans. 4 hours down the road. Crazy. It's crazy. No, there's a line of demarcation. It's like rain coming down the road. It's raining there. It's sunshine where you are. You can see it coming. There's got to be a line somewhere. Rouse's Markets phone line 766-9480. We got an answer to father of the Superdome, most significant person, biggest contributor, the number one mover, the person that got it done. Father of Superdome, Dave Dixon. Excellent work, Rob, in New Orleans. Got a second question for you, a second $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate. Father of the Saints. Father of the Saints. Most significant, first mover. Without him, never would have happened. Father of the Saints. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Corey Johnson with you. On a Monday afternoon, 5 o'clock powwow coming your way next. This guy has an answer to the $50 Woodhouse Day Spa trivia question. What's that, Blue Boy? You have the answer. You're excited to give it live on the air. All right. You're a basset hound. You have a long back. You're looking forward to that wonderful massage at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Your answer is what, Blue Boy? It's what?
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333 Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m. Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, insagency.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Sella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamarck team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamarck Ford. We became #1 for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations. Family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
This is Jim Rockford. At the tone, leave your name and message. I'll get back to you.
Jim, it's Shirley at the cleaners. You know that brown jacket? The one I said looked so great on you? Your favorite? We lost it.
That wouldn't have been a problem if Jim Rockford would have gone to Young's Dry Cleaning. Since 1940, 83 years of excellence. A New Orleans institution. Go see Dale. Go see Don. Go check out the crew at Young's Dry Cleaning. You can find out more at youngsdrycleaning.com. Jim Rockford, you should have gone to Young's Dry Cleaning. 5 o'clock powwow brought to you by Young's Dry Cleaning. We're cranking it up on a Monday afternoon. It's hot out there, but normal hot. Our regular New Orleans summer, 90 degrees feels like 99. 90 degrees on the thermometer feels like 99. Not 99 degrees on the thermometer feels like 119. Not this oppressive, nasty stuff we've had for like a month straight. It is official. The hottest summer on record in New Orleans, and we're not done yet. Yesterday in Kenebra, you may want to go braless. 104 degrees in Kenner, a new record at Louis Armstrong International. 104 in Kenebra, not Scottsdale, not Tucson, not Phoenix. 104 in Kenner yesterday on Sunday. 104 degrees on the thermometer. That's insane. So 90 degrees feels like 99. We will take that. Yeah, officially hottest summer on record in New Orleans. I would think the driest summer on record. It is parched out there. I think they are contributing to each other. If we had our deluge, look at today, for example. Just the threat of rain in New Orleans put some clouds up. Some areas got rain. Most of the area didn't get rain. I ran a sprinkler today to save my garden, to save my azaleas. Because I was like, rain comes great, but I'm not counting on the rain at all. It probably won't come, and it didn't come to my neighborhood. No, we normally get the rain, the afternoon thunder showers, and it lowers the temperature. And it just lowers it from being hot. It doesn't lower it from, boy, if without that afternoon thunder shower in New Orleans, we'd be hitting 97, 98, 99 all the time, feeling like 115. No, we wouldn't. It'd be like 95, 96, feeling like 102, and we'd be like, damn, that was a hot day. But we get the rain and the cloud cover and the afternoon thunder showers that kind of cools things off a little bit. And my God, you don't wake up at 10 at night, midnight, 2 in the morning, whatever, 4 a.m., happen to walk outside for whatever reason, and it's 88 degrees at 3 a.m., feels like 97, like literally? I don't know what the hell that is. It's crazy. That's what it is. Anyway, we got a little break, but it is officially the hottest summer on record. 104 at Louis Armstrong is nutty, and I've got to believe it's the driest. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his I Have a Dream speech given 60 years ago today. I was checking out some footage of it and the speech itself and just news coverage of it earlier. A pretty integrated audience. A lot of white folks there. A lot of white folks doing the right thing. I always know this much. You know, back in the 50s and 60s, if I were alive and active, I definitely would have been on the side of black folks and Dr. Martin Luther King and the side of righteousness and against these sick, racist white folks, these oppressors that were in control. But what you have to ask, if you know at least that much, would you have been brave enough, courageous enough to stand up publicly with black folks and march with them and publicly protest against these white people that are insane, that are in control, ultimately affect your livelihood? Would you have been brave enough and courageous enough? Because, there's three types of folks here. You've got the white racist folks that are the obvious enemy, the obviously wrong folks. Then you've got two types of white folks that know what's going on, what was going on was wrong, and that those white folks were evil, and racism is evil. You had the ones that sat on the sideline and did nothing, that hoped for the change and just watched. And then you had the white folks like I saw in video today that were part of the March on Washington, standing hand in hand with black folks for righteousness. No, I hope I would be brave enough and courageous enough to march with them. I know I would have been on the right side of the thinking. Would I have been brave enough and courageous enough to march with black folks in the 50s and 60s? I hope so. It's easy to say it. I don't know if a lot of folks, white folks, even think about it. And the racist white guy doesn't think about it for a second. He's just focused on his insecurities and mental weaknesses. Sad. What sadness? Just mind-blowing. Like, don't you hate wasting time? It's like, don't like sitting in traffic, just wasting time in traffic. That's 15 minutes I'll never get back. Add up all the time, like the racist, the sexist, the person that's homophobic, the mind time, the chatter with like-minded idiots, the cumulative time added up in their life. It must be months and years of just spinning wheels, and then you could even, it kind of exacerbates itself, and it grows because it's such negative thoughts that even when you're not thinking about it or talking about it, it has to lead to negative, stupid thinking or just negative vibe, bad way of being. I don't know. I'm fortunate, seriously, when I say this, because I see people out there, black, white, yellow, green, that might be racist, sexist, homophobic. I'm none of that. It's hard to even understand that thinking. And I see the people that suffer from that ailment, and it's like waking up every day, getting out of bed and grabbing a knapsack that's sitting there, and it's loaded with like cinder blocks and lead pipes and crap, and you got to just carry that thing all day. And I know you're like, whatever, Corey. I mean, no, whatever. I don't have that baggage, and it's a blessing. And most folks, I think, don't have that baggage. But there are a lot of folks that are racist, that are sexist, that are homophobic. It's mind-blowing. And it is a 110% waste of time. Now, not an opinion. It is a waste of your time. It is a waste of your time. You might be better off memorizing the random numbers on the back of a fortune cookie for your lottery. That might be more productive for your mind and your well-being. Boy, Dr. Martin Luther King, just the right man at the right time, volatile times, sick time in America. You get the wrong black leader like Malcolm X when he was with the Nation of Islam. Pre-Mecca, not the great Malcolm X post-Mecca, after jettisoning Louis Farrakhan, but not even Farrakhan was a child, mentally and physically, but not really physically, but mentally. But Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam, that farce, that charlatan, that joker, that child rapist, when he jettisoned those sick folks, Malcolm X became a great man. Incredible journey, great American. But before Mecca trip and jettisoning the Nation of Islam, that might not have been the best person to be the black leadership with these volatile white racist folks. They're idiots. They're not thinking logically. They're not fair or objective. They're hate-filled, jerk, loser, racist, sick individuals that need to be gone. So you get the equal and opposite, and these two things come to a head, and boy, you could have trouble. Just a bomb going off. Instead, you had this righteous Dr. Martin Luther King. So the righteous white people, the white people that knew what was right, they went in his direction, and it squashed the racist white folks that were in charge, in control, their way or the highway for centuries. So no, the right man at the right time for a insanely tough job. He did it mostly in his late 20s and 30s. Like this I Have a Dream speech, I think he was 33 years old. Unbelievable. Thank God for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Now, my top 5 Americans of all time, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, Abraham Lincoln, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The 5 that most, influenced America, made us what we are today, those 5. Yeah, you bet Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. is in that. Of course he is. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love, more. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants, Leidenheimer French bread.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Hey, why aren't you at Katie's right now in Mid-City? Yeah, isn't that a good idea for dinner tonight? What a great place for friends and family to meet. Full of New Orleans characters throughout the day because it's the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant for folks in that Mid-City neighborhood and folks that don't even live in that Mid-City neighborhood. Folks from other New Orleans neighborhoods, folks from outside of Orleans Parish are at Katie's a few times a week, making it their home. They should have some brass name tags on some of these bar stools at Katie's. I'm not kidding you. Full of New Orleans characters all day long. Lunch and dinner Monday through Saturday, brunch on Sunday. More is better. More of the good things like big portions of New Orleans specialties, old school, great for sharing. A Mid-City mainstay as New Orleans as it gets. Why aren't you at Katie's in Mid-City right now? Monday afternoon, 90 degrees, feels like 99. Some cloud cover, a threat of rain. Some of us got some rain. I didn't, not my neighborhood. I ran the sprinkler. Plants are dying in the garden. Got to reinvest in that investment and keep them alive. But that threat of rain, that cloud cover got us to 90 and feels like 99 instead of 99 feels like 119. So I'll take it. But boy, we could use some rain. We could use a good soaking of rain. We really do need some sustained rain in New Orleans. So dry. So many places just parched. Drought-like conditions, burn ban, all of that. I don't want Hurricane Idalia coming anywhere near New Orleans if that's how we have to get the rain. A hurricane, no thanks. But fortunately, all the spaghetti models, U.S., European, all have that hurricane, or I should say that storm, which is entering the southern Gulf of Mexico as we speak. By Wednesday morning, in about 36, 40 hours, it'll be slamming into the southwestern coast of Florida, not the Panhandle, but Tampa-ish, something like that, maybe south of Tampa. That'll be Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. It'll be sunny and clear here and hot. We won't even know the storm's going on. No, just hope and pray, safe for the Tampa folks that they don't get a lot of wind, storm damage. No, we could use like the amount of rain that Idalia is going to bring Tampa spread out over about a week straight. That would be pretty ideal for New Orleans. We could, and Louisiana, we could use a super saturation right now because it's just parched. It really is. Go look at your front yard if you don't like water it. I'm not watering my yard. I got like brown patches. No, I have an investment in the garden, azaleas and crap. And no, they're like wilting. I have to run like the sprinkler. And today I'm like running the sprinkler. I can see the rain clouds. And I'm like, I don't think they're coming my way, and they didn't. I was playing the golf the other day at Diamond Head, or even heard like thunder, and the guy I'm playing with, I'm like, dude, bring it on. There's no rain coming. And it was actually pretty pleasant. It was like 89 the whole round, cloud cover on late Saturday afternoon, and no rain at all, nowhere in sight. I think that like thunder was like that heat lightning thunder type thing with no precipitation. 60 years ago today, I Have a Dream speech, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the March on Washington. I think Dr. Martin Luther King today would be beaming with pride of how much progress has been made since the 60s. And then I think a little later he'd be, sitting down, very upset and probably crying about how far things still need to go. But every minute, don't kid yourself, if you're black or Latino or Asian or female or gay, every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week of every month, we're moving that needle in the right direction. It's just inevitable. More people get on board than don't, even in volatile times where we see the exposure of these extremes. Oh, we have a civil war. Civil war's coming, just that mentality. Extreme left, extreme right, armed, ready for battle, all this crap. These partisan political hacks where the other side is the enemy. They have nothing to offer, nothing good. My side, all of it is great. We'd be a great country if everything I think was implemented and nothing that I disagree with. You know, that type of ridiculous, un-American mentality, un-American attitude, not cooperating, not working with others, not compromising for the greater good. That there's not enough of that. They're loud. They're the squeaky wheel. It's frightening. It's nothing nice. But I think America, every minute of every day, gets better and better. We're just seeing these idiots last gasp, emerging because they're getting crushed. No, just have to stay on it. It's like the political thing. This thing's going to break. I don't know when. I hope today. It might be in 6 months. It might be in 6 years. It might be in 16 years. But I think in my lifetime, we're going to see this political thing break where folks in politics that were extremely partisan, like the last 20 years, either hardcore left, hardcore right, and known to be critical of the other side. The other side offers nothing. The other side is the enemy. Kind of like how LaToya Cantrell feels about conservatives and Republicans, like it's code for they're racist. And then the hardcore right and the evangelical in Louisiana that think Democrats and liberal are evil and socialists. These folks, these known folks and their thoughts, their verbiage, their quotes, it's there forever. And in a generation or two, they're going to be looked upon as a joke, as an embarrassment. These folks that were so partisan that there's not going to be like a pride that they stuck to their, beliefs and values. It's not going to be that at all. It's going to be folks that were not compromising, that were causing, taking the other side as the enemy, never working with the other side, never thinking any of the other side's ideas are good. I think most Americans, I know most Americans, independents, moderate Republicans, moderate Democrats, they know they want working with the other side. They know that all one side is not the answer. All liberal Democrat policies will not work, would be a disaster for America. All Republican conservative policies will not work, would be a disaster for America. Most people think like that. That's how most people think. Only the hardcore right think it's the conservative ideals that are fantastic and the liberals are the problem. And only the hardcore liberals think their ideas are fantastic and the conservatives are the problem. No, soon we're going to break through this and the politicians are going to be held accountable. There's going to be people that are going to be marked, branded as, divisive, extreme on left or right. Do not vote them in. Part of the problem, not part of the solution. And they're slowly but surely going to be ousted. And ones that are smart and savvy are going to either come around and change and assimilate or be ousted as well. But I'm confident in America and have a belief in the greatness of our people, especially as the you-know-what could get to the point of hitting the fan where we make a major correction. And I think this extreme partisan politics is wrong. And I think the righteous path is coming. And I think the same thing about folks that are racist, sexist, or homophobic. It's wrong, and it's funneling down. We're just seeing a lot of the squeaky wheels emerge right now. Hey, TV audience, You folks out there in TV land checking us out right now on Cox Channel 4 all over Louisiana. Your View, Louisiana, Cox Channel 4. You charter television subscribers, a.k.a. Spectrum, checking us out on Spectrum 333. We're out of here. It's 5:30. See you tomorrow at 4 p.m. You can check us out on YouTube right now. We seamlessly continue till 6 p.m. on YouTube, on radio, live streaming, KareTalks.com. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday afternoon. Yeah, it'll be Hurricane Idalia by Wednesday morning around 7 a.m., slamming into the southwestern Florida coast around Tampa. That's where most of the spaghetti models have it, that general direction. Don't hold me to Tampa, but not on the Panhandle. Officially the hottest summer on record in New Orleans, and we're not done yet. Louis Armstrong International Airport yesterday, another record high. In Kennebra, 104 degrees on the thermometer. That makes me have to take a sip of water. 104 on the thermometer. What was the tarmac like? No, I mean, if it's 104 in Kenner at Louis Armstrong, the feels like's like 115 or more. The tarmac, I mean, with the wavy lines, like, oh, I'm going to faint, had to be like 136, 140. My God. 104 on the thermometer in Kenner yesterday. 104. That's just crazy. I couldn't believe it when I heard the news. Dr. Peter Scharf has passed. Came up with answers to problems, implemented them. Bricks and mortar, physical buildings, other doctors, other professionals, other experts putting their plan into play. The whole goal was you don't just put criminals in jail. You put criminals in jail, and when they come out, they're ready to go into society. They have a some kind of, training, some kind of expertise. They're educated in some way. They have a skill. They're ready to get a job. I had Dr. Peter Scharf on the program about 5 months ago. It's on YouTube. I reposted it on Twitter at Corey Johnson on Twitter. Corey spelled Kaare. It's worth a listen. No, he was a great man, and he cared, and he was trying to, I mean, anyone can tell you the problems. Solutions are a lot harder. A lot of folks can try to avoid the whole problem and just put you in another direction to distract you. Dr. Peter Scharf was honest, legitimate, caring, humanitarian, cared about people, cared about New Orleans, identified the problems, had deep thought and applied it, and through experience came up with lots of great solutions. He passed away at 78. Give that interview a listen on YouTube, at Corey Johnson on Twitter. No, it's a shame. He was a good guest. I'm glad we had him on about 5 months ago, because it had been about a year or so or more before we had him on. So I was so glad to have him on again, and it was probably time to get him on in the next few weeks or month or so. So I'm glad at least we got that done a few months back. Tulane cranking up their football season Saturday. Yeah, you right, Wave fans. 23rd ranked Wave. Game week. Tiger fans, your 5th ranked Tigers playing on Sunday. Wave on Saturday, Tigers on Sunday. It's game week. Saints fans, the preseason in the books. Cut down day to 53 mañana. Then a week from Sunday, Saints in the Dome kicking off their campaign. NFL game week next week. Yeah, you right. It's like a 5 o'clock powwow on a fantasy Friday. We blow that 5 o'clock whistle. It's like that limbo time. Wow, 100% of the work week in the books. 100% of the weekend in front of us. Let's blow the 5 o'clock whistle. This is kind of like that. We are on the brink of the college and pro football season, like that limbo period. The dead season is behind us. It is game week for college. Next week is game week for the Saints in the NFL and the pros. Yeah, you right. Football is king in the South. And it also means, 6 to 8 weeks, probably 8. You can actually I open the windows and the door. It's 11 a.m. on Saturday. I'm watching college football. The breeze is blowing through my house. What a beautiful, gorgeous fall day. It's 68 degrees and sunny. Not humid. It's coming. Still probably 8 weeks away. Probably don't see that till October, I would think, mid-October, but it's coming. Hey, you head home? You'll probably pass a Rouse's or 2 or 3, over 60 Rouse's. There are over 20 stores in Metro New Orleans. That means like a third of all Rouse's are in Metro New Orleans. Best quality, best price, best selection. Rouse's in Southern Mississippi. Mobile, Alabama's grocery store. You guessed it, Rouse's. 6 Rouse's in Metro Mobile. No, they're just the leader in so many places. Like Gulfport, Biloxi, the West Bank with a trio of Rouse's, including 2 in Gretna. Lake Charles has 3 Rouse's. Metro Baton Rouge has 9 Rouse's markets. Homa, 4 Rouse's, a 5th one coming online with that Rouse's chicken drive-through. You know that's got to be good. Rouse's Market, taking care of you. Over 7,000 employees. Rouse's.com, they'll deliver it right to your house, to the office. Rouse's.com, locally owned and operated. Like I say, best quality, best selection, best price. Tastes like home because it is home. Rouse's Markets. For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on Magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
As New Orleans as the mighty Mississippi, Corey Johnson.
The old miss, the old man.
On 93.9 FM and 107.9 FM.
Deep River, my home is over Jordan.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt to improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time. And our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have focus.
You've always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. And just everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for a person who came up to me after the game. I had tickets in Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we were able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll A.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on the Neutral Ground.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Hey, are you looking for a new career? I'm not kidding you, a career. Looking for a new job? Latrim is hiring. The global manufacturing giant is hiring. If you go to their website, it's not like 3 openings. It's like 30 or 40 or 50 or more job openings. Literally dozens and dozens and dozens of job openings at latrim.com. For a full listing of positions available, latrim.com. Latrim spelled L-A-I-T-R-A-M, latrim.com. Now, what an incredible company. J.M. LePere in like 1949, walking on a dock, steps on a shrimp with his rubber boot. The shrimp squirts out clean and the peeling stayed behind the shell. He's like, wow. Goes home. His mother has that old crank, washing machine for clothes, like rubber wheels. You feed the clothes through with the crank, make some adjustment. And that was like the prototype of the first ever shrimp peeling machine. Made it mechanical, mechanized, bigger. Started working like a champ, peeling shrimp. Dump shrimp in on one end, they come out peeled on the other end. Revolutionary. But then he was having trouble with, the conveyor belts. You're putting shrimp on these conveyor belts every day. Most of the machines, stainless steel, stuff like that, easy to clean. These conveyor belts, you're using whatever to clean them, and it's wearing out the belts. He's like, I need a better conveyor belt. So he comes up, because he's a genius, J.M. LePere comes up with the all-plastic modular conveyor belt. Imagine those old spiral notebooks. You remember those? You could put 2 of them together and run like a pencil through the spiral, and it would hold the 2 notebooks together. That's essentially what J.M. LePere. All-plastic conveyor belt, like The notebook is all plastic. The spiral's all plastic. You loop two of them together and run a plastic rod through them to connect them. The all plastic modular conveyor belt. Just genius. The alternating tread stair, hundreds of patents. Be a part of it. And they're hiring because they're a worldwide leader that just grows and grows and grows. Latram.com. Latram spelled L-A-I. T-R-A-M, Latram.com. Don't even worry. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. 90 degrees, feels like 99, which is good. That threat of rain, some folks got it, some folks didn't. At least it kept the temperatures down. 90 feels like 99, better than 99 feels like 120. We're not done with that yet. Sadly, we're not done with that. But it does look like the next week or so, we're not going to have those extreme 97, 98, 99 temperatures. But possibly next week, they could return. About 8 weeks away from summer being jettisoned. We could use the rain from what will be Hurricane Idalia, but it is entering the Gulf, but not coming to us, thank God. We don't want the hurricane. North of Tampa, I guess, is the most likely spot. The spaghetti models have the storm going north of Tampa, which I guess is good for Tampa because of, well, actually, no, that would be bad for Tampa North because the counterclockwise is going to bring water into Tampa from the Gulf, into the Bay. So Tampa would prefer the storm to be south of them, I guess, bringing water out of the Bay like the last storm that hit. If you remember, the Bay was like empty. You could see like the bottom of it and then just filled back up after the storm left. Now, this storm will go, projections are correct, and 95+% of these spaghetti models have it kind of going north of Tampa in that little kind of point, but not in the panhandle, really. The, I guess, most northwestern part of we will see no effects. Like outer bands, the outer bands. I don't think we're going to even have any rain at all or any signs in Louisiana of any kind of wind, rain. Like there's a hurricane hitting Florida. I don't think southern Mississippi will see it. It might trickle over to the panhandle, obviously. It might trickle over. I'm talking like rain and wind a little bit. And maybe into southern Alabama, Mobile. Maybe. Mobile, Alabama might be like the line of demarcation where they're like, we didn't really have any kind of an adverse day, at least where you think a hurricane is around as far as wind and rain. Anyway, Idalia, about 36 hours or so, 40 hours away from hitting the Florida coast and not affecting us in the least bit. Now, we could use Idalia's rain over about a week, spread out over about a week. We could definitely use that. Officially, the hottest summer on record in New Orleans, and we're not done yet. Kenner yesterday, Louis Armstrong International, a record again, 104 degrees. That's just insane. 104 in Kenner. Crazy. 60 years ago today, the March on Washington, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his I Have a Dream speech. Mahalia Jackson, there are two ways to look at the story. It's hard to know which one's true. I like this one more, but either one's great. And we know Mahalia Jackson yelled to Dr. Martin Luther King, Martin, tell him about the dream. Tell him about the dream. Some say at that point, and I've always believed this to be true, and this was always historically told, that at that point, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. abandoned his script and went off the cuff and went into the I Have a Dream speech, not looking at his notes, just all from just his head, what he was thinking at that time. Lately, like the last few years, like this isn't like 20 years ago it was thought. This is like just in the last few years. Some historians are saying that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. never went off script and that Mahalia Jackson wasn't imploring him to, tell him about the dream, not what you're saying right now, tell him about the dream, but was, egging him on, like, tell him about the dream, Martin. Yes. Love what you're saying. Tell him about the dream. Continue the great things you're saying. Like she was, enjoying it, loving it, not saying, oh, that's great what you're saying, but no. Tell him about the dream, the really important stuff. I like as a New Orleanian, Mahalia Jackson is a New Orleanian, that she got him to go off script. And there's no fact out there that we know that wasn't the case. That was always the story, that Mahalia Jackson yelled, Martin, tell him about the dream, and he abandoned his script and went off the cuff for the rest of the time. The last few years, maybe decade at most, there's some historians saying, no, he stayed on script and Mahalia Jackson was just encouraging him. Either way, the right man at the right time, volatile America. The racist white people are wrong. You get the wrong black leader, and it could have been dynamite exploding. Instead, you had the right black leader showing the righteous white folks what these racist, hateful white folks were all about and move the needle. The right man with the right temperament, smarts, intellect, skill, speaking ability, empathy, sympathy, understanding of human being, the human spirit, understanding of America, its history, the Constitution, the founding fathers, the original plan. Thank God for Dr. Martin Luther King. Boy, a sad day. Dr. Peter Scharf, criminologist, passing away at 78 years old. No, it's sad. That really is. We had him on the program about 5 months ago. You can find it on YouTube, our YouTube channel. Click to subscribe to that, by the way. Corey Johnson, Corey spelled Kaare, Corey Johnson, The Neutral Ground on YouTube. Or go to my Twitter, @Corey Johnson. I reposted that interview from about 5 months ago with Dr. Peter Scharf. It was like 30, 40 minutes. This guy talked the talk, walked the walk, bricks and mortar buildings, professionals. The whole goal was, we don't just incarcerate people. We incarcerate them, and when they get out, they don't commit a crime again. They have a job. They have a skill. They're educated now. Jail helped them, didn't hurt them, didn't just keep them where they were. No, he talked the talk and he walked the walk. A criminologist in New Orleans for decades, cared about us in the city. No, he will be missed. I'm glad I got a chance to interview him about 5 months ago. You can check it out on YouTube or on my Twitter, @Corey Johnson. Hey, it's hot out there, but not too bad. And for the next week or so, it's supposed to be, like today, maybe 90, feels like 90 something, not this oppressive heat. That means you can get that paint project done. Helm Paint and Decorating wants to help you with that paint project. They got those high quality Benjamin Moore paints, a staff that's been doing it for over half a century. They'll steer you in the right direction. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating.
Being a part of people's lives, from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family, saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years. serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Since 1896, a true taste of New Orleans. Leidenheimer French bread.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City. I was just telling Jason, I had a couple of roast beef po' boys. They're not so big. I had one for lunch, and I was going to eat one the next day. I ended up heating it up in the oven and eating it for dinner. Wrap it in foil, kind of bake it in the oven. Especially if you don't have the mayo or lettuce or tomato on it, you can add that later. Yes, that roast beef po' boy, those 2 roast beef po' boys were on Leidenheimer French bread. Is there any other French bread you can actually use for a roast beef po' boy? And I'm not kidding you. Like, if you have like more of like some artisan bread, it's too hard on the outside. It doesn't hold the what's inside the sandwich. Just stuff will squirt out and shoot out all over. Shrimp or oysters or roast beef. Come on. I mean, you'd have to have like a slice of ham, a slice of cheese in that kind of French bread to not have stuff squirting all over the place. So I guess you can do your ham and cheese on some other French bread maybe. But wouldn't you rather do that ham and cheese or any sandwich on Leidenheimer French bread? And boy, heating up the Leidenheimer French bread in the oven with some room temperature butter, I could knock out like a whole loaf. Seriously. Good to the last crumb, literally. For over 125 years, Leidenheimer Baking Company in New Orleans, baking that Leidenheimer French bread since 1896. Leidenheimer Baking Company. Yeah, part of New Orleans. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday. Yeah, you right. Keep Dr. Peter Scharf, the criminologist, his family and friends in your thoughts and prayers. He passed away at age 78. Check out the interview on YouTube. Corey Johnson Neutral Ground. Click subscribe to our YouTube channel. I also posted that interview on my Twitter at Corey Johnson. Corey spelled Kaare. What, Blue Boy? Dr. Peter Scharf was a humanitarian that moved the needle, a great, kind man, and a pro. You're right, Blue Boy. You're right.
You're on the Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.